this last time. Number 8's boring. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this council meeting. I'd like to begin by standing for a moment of silence, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have roll call, please?
Chantel Ostra.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
Brad Hint.
Here.
Ken Snyder.
Here.
Steve Hamel.
Here.
All right, next item up is the approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion for that.
So moved. Support.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
All right. Next up is the oath of office to our newest officer, Ryer Dakin. I'll meet you at the podium. Come around so you That's why she got a picture.
He was, and then he was.
All right, if you would please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Ryer Dakin, do solemnly swear
I, Ryer Dakin, do solemnly swear
that I will uphold all the laws of the Constitution of the United States,
I will uphold all the laws of the Constitution of the United States,
state of Iowa, and the city of Sheldon.
the state of Iowa, and the city of Sheldon.
I will faithfully and impartially,
I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of police officer
discharge all the duties of the office of the police officer
for the city of Sheldon, Iowa,
for the city of Sheldon, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Actually, 4 of them. Is it your wife? Heather? Wife? Your mother?
Yes.
Oh. Take it as a compliment. Turned out to be incredibly good thing.
All right.
Call back. I can just dispatch it to you if you just want to read it, or you can give me a PDF. There is a work number and a cell number on the call, and she would like you to call her cell number as she's leaving.
Let's put that, there's no date on it.
Now I'd like to move into the public forum for anyone wishing to address the council. Is there anyone here today that would like to address the council at this time? Seeing nothing. I do have one written comment that Angie handed me. This comes from Marv Van Riesen this afternoon at 1:40 p.m. And his comments were that we don't need that HR person. If anything, we should be cutting back. We don't need an HR person at all. All right. Next item up is our consent agenda. Take approval for that, to approve that. Motion for that to, I should say, a motion to approve that.
So move. Support.
Roll call, please.
Hint. Aye. Snyder.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye.
Okay, let's move on then to new business. First item up for there is the public hearing for the Western Avenue project. This is an opportunity for anyone wishing to address the council regarding that matter. Again, no movement, so any written comments regarding this?
None.
Okay. Then take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Support.
Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye.
We then have a resolution awarding the contract. Todd, is there anything you'd like to say at this time before we go?
Jason from Beck Engineering's here. If you want to have him maybe just run down the bidders and the amounts,
Okay,
and
that'd be good.
and then if the council has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Evening, Mayor and Council. We did have, we bid through the DOT on the 22nd of January. We had 3 bids. Low bidder was Sioux City Engineering Co. out of the Sioux City area. Their bid was $4,051,274. Our estimate was $4,616,000, so quite a bit below the estimate. We do not have separate itemized bid tabs yet. We have to wait through Office of Contracts at the DOT for those. But there were the 2 other bids that were received were, one was right at the estimate of 4.6, and then the third bidder was just under 4.9 million. So pretty decent range, and estimate was kind of right in the middle of the road. So.
Okay. Any questions for him? Very good, thank you. Then we have a resolution that needs to be approved. I'll take a motion for that.
So move.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye.
All right, the next public hearing is regarding the PCC patching project. Is there anyone wanting to address the council regarding this project at this time? No, and I'm assuming no written?
Correct.
Okay. Anything you want to say about that, Todd?
Same thing, I'll let Jason go over the bids.
Okay.
If you're unaware, this is the corner north of the middle school, and then the intersection north of Bliss that connects to 24th Avenue.
Okay.
Yep, so 2 locations. This was a local letting on the 29th of January. 7 bids were received on this one, with the low bid being Vantoff Concrete out of Sioux Center at about 87% of the estimate, and then bids ranged anywhere from that low bid up to about 112% of the estimate. So again, a good range. Estimate was kind of right in the middle of the pack, and we would recommend awarding the project to the low bid Vantoff Concrete.
Okay.
Fun fact, there was $630 between first and second place on this bid opening.
How many?
$630,
That's pretty close.
yeah, on 225,000.
Yep.
Have we used them before?
Then Hoff did the last patching project when we did East 6th and 23rd and 25th and East 6th. They did that one. They did good work.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just realized we did not have a motion to close the hearing. We do that first before we approve the resolution.
So move.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye. Hint.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
All right. Now we can take up the matter of the resolution awarding the contract.
Make the motion to award the contract.
Support.
Any discussion further? Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hess.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Snyder, sorry.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good to have them come in under, huh, Todd?
What's that?
It's good to have those come in under budget.
Yeah, that's a nice surprise. You remember the couple of our last bid openings, we weren't so fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to get a couple go our way.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that as a recap. This was one that we tried to bid last summer, knowing that it wasn't maybe the best bidding environment, but thought we'd throw it out there and see what happened. I think we saved well over, should that have been accepted, well over $100,000 difference from this bidding time.
That's good. Okay, moving on to item C, the Human Resources Services. Do you have an update for us, Sam? Is that you?
I do. I just want to thank the council members for their involvement in the process, especially Tom Eggers and Chantel Ostra for their assistance. Also, of course, to Angie, who was very involved in this. And we received 5 responses. One of the responses was not for the full services. It was just for a review of, or a risk survey of, or a risk assessment, I should say. But I've linked all of the proposals that we received, and our recommendation is to move forward with Center Benefits. Center Benefits is here tonight. Maybe they would be willing to step up and introduce themselves to the rest of the council.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mayor, Council. Thank you for having us here today. I'm Jen Vermeer, and this is Brandy and Jessica as well. And we're part of the team at Center Benefits, and we are, just really excited to have the possibility to partner with you in HR services. We just feel very passionate that HR helps make an organization very strong. And then I always like to say, one of the hardest parts of work is the hidden part, and that's what HR deals with a lot. And so, we've been, I'm from Sioux Center, Brandy's actually here from Sheldon, so I'm on City Council in Sioux Center as well, and so we're just very familiar with how the inner workings of a city work and also the community here too. So if you have any questions, you can let us know, but I'll let Brandy introduce herself a little bit. She is going to be the primary point of contact for the relationship and working directly with the city administration.
Hello, I'm Brandy. I believe I know some of you. I have worked in human resources for about 10 years. I've been a resident of Sheldon since 2018. I just have a variety of experience really supporting both the business and the human side of human resources. So I'm excited for the opportunity and can't wait to serve you.
All right, are there any questions for either of these gals? I guess one question I have, are you working currently with any other municipalities in the area?
Sure. I've worked, and Brandy has too, with other nonprofit entities, city entities, municipalities in the area as well.
Very good. Anyone else? All right, we'll let you take a seat. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, 2 quick things. The resolution was linked yesterday, and the agreement was uploaded, or the first version of the agreement was uploaded yesterday, and then there was some minor changes to it, and so that most of you probably didn't even have a chance to see that one yesterday, but this one that is linked is the latest version, so you do not need to approve it tonight if you want to wait and approve it on consent next time, but you certainly could go ahead and approve it. And then if it is approved, then we'll just need your signature tomorrow, Jen.
All right, so what is the wishes of the council at this time?
I make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Okay,
Support that.
any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hess. Aye. Eggers.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 8 is our budget recap. I'm going to turn that over to you, Sam.
Yes, thank you. So there's really only one item here that needs a vote, and that is item D. The other 3 items are just a review, but I'm going to hit the budget recap first, since there's a few changes in the numbers. So our projected general fund cash balance is now about 12%, which is better than it was looking about a month ago, so we're pleased with that. And the changes that TIF is almost exactly the same as what it was a few weeks ago. There have been some changes in local option sales tax per the discussion. So if you don't have any questions, we can move right into Part D and set the special meeting for 4:15 p.m. on Wednesday, April 2. Double check that date. Yep, that's right.
Okay. Any comments or questions regarding the update we've received? No? Okay. Then I would take a motion to set that special council meeting for 4:15 on April 2.
So move.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Hess. Aye. Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
All right, now we're ready for a report from the ambulance team. We have with us Kristen and Jared. Welcome.
Broke it.
Now we can't have nice things.
Recorded, I might have said a word, but I'll watch it later. So like we told you guys during the budget session, we'd come back and give you kind of a formal annual review of 2024 for the ambulance team. The only change of pace is I'm going to allow Jared to present to you guys, as this will be his first time doing an annual report for us. So he's going to go over the report, and then we can answer questions.
All right.
And you're going to get my good side, right? No, just kidding.
All right, so just going through some updates for 2024. So year-end, December 31st of 2024. Members included 24 members. We had 12 EMTs, 1 advanced EMT, 3 RNs, 3 paramedics, 3 drivers, and 2 EMT students. The call volume for 2024 was the highest we've ever had. So total calls in 2024 included 853 calls. Out of those, for 911, we had 634, and then for transfers, we had 213 calls. December was extremely busy, which I found out because I do the audits for the calls, so yeah, the December one took quite a while to get those completed. So yeah, compared to last year we had a total of 767, 767 calls. It was just an unusual high year for calls. We kind of fluctuated over time. Over the last 5 years, we've had a few years where we had in the 700s, and then in 2022 we had in the 800s for the first time. But this year, this past year, it was a lot. For measurable outcomes, each year we do work together with our medical director, and as a team, we choose different outcomes to work towards. So this past year, some of our CQI, or continuous quality improvement items, for response time, our average response time was 5 minutes and 17 seconds, or just 5.17 minutes. On-scene time medical, 16.34 minutes. On-scene time trauma, 19.78 minutes. And then we were measuring 3 different items. We were trying to get 90% of all 911 calls will have a blood sugar taken when appropriate per protocols. and we met that at 98%. And we also had 90% of all 911 calls where the patient is experiencing shortness of breath and or wheezing. We'll put them on albuterol treatment to be completed. We were at 100% on that. And then we picked a new one this past year, measuring, it's called end-tidal carbon dioxide. So when we're doing patient monitoring, we can assess the patient's pulse oximetry, but that O2 reading is usually a delayed response. CO2 gives us an actual current reading, which is really beneficial. So EMTs can do waveform, and then EMTs can do non-waveform. Advanced EMTs and paramedic can do waveform, so for on the EMT side, they get a number, and the goal is that we want to see it between a certain range, and if we see it low or high, that can help us know if the person's hyperventilating or hypoventilating. And it's a really useful tool. So we were trying to get 90% of all 911 calls that are respiratory emergencies, trying to get an ETCO2 reading. We're at 81%. Our goal is to continue to try to improve that. So it's a tool we're trying to utilize more, and it's something new that's changed over time. Some additional items, we do like doing community service projects, and we've changed it up over the years to try to, just change things up and try to do new projects with the community. So we've been doing pizza ranch delivery nights for several years, and we've been doing a partnership with Love Inc. to help do a toy drive in the fall, usually around November, December timeframe, and that's been a really cool project to do. We've been participating in community parades, including celebration days, homecoming parade, and also the holiday parade of lights. We've also been doing a SCAT haunted garage for several years, which has been popular. We go to the high school football games to be on standby when needed. We help out with Rise Fest, which is, just being out there is beneficial in case something happens. Having crews on site has been a beneficial thing to do. We also help out with village celebration days. We do community CPR training events too. Throughout the year, there's several opportunities that come up to do different CPR classes. And then there are a variety of career days that SCAT's participated in as well, and we're always looking for more volunteers. Volunteer-wise all over, it's a challenge to find people that want to be in this profession, so we're always looking for new people that want to be in it. For our current ambulance fleet, we do have a 2022 Type 3 ambulance, we have a 2019 Type 3 ambulance, and a 2016 Type 3 ambulance, and then also our 2022 Dodge Durango emergency response vehicle. Some of the visions for the future include, looking for increased membership, also enhancing our policies and procedures to handle higher call volumes, and then enhanced training as well. We do a lot of different training opportunities throughout the year, and with SCAT, what we try to do is we actually, it's one thing that Kristen's implemented early on in the year. We have a training schedule, and we encourage members to pick a date to study up on a subject. So like, well, if there's a certain topic such as CPR practice or shock, stroke, cardiac emergencies, we'll have that member do the training for that night, and then it's their job to study up on the topic and then present it to the team, which it helps them out with refreshing on that topic, and then it changes up so we're not doing the same instructor all the time, and that's been really positive. And then we do like to do a lot of just practice sessions working through different scenarios during our meetings as well. So we'll pull out names out of a hat, and then those members will be a team that day, and then we'll give them a scenario, and then all the other members watch during that time, and we work through the scenario, and then afterwards we give positive feedback, and if there's areas of improvement, we can talk about it then as well, and that gives us a good chance to practice so we stay fresh, because you could be on call at different times during the 2 weeks and not have any calls, and then we have members that they get hit with 3 or 4 calls on one 12-hour shift, and so we like to keep people engaged, and then we encourage people if they have questions or they want to work through a certain type of scenario, just to have more awareness over it, to let leadership know so we can actually practice that during a meeting as well. So, but we greatly appreciate the city's partnership with SCAT. It's being united in the emergency service approach is really important. We appreciate Sheldon Fire's partnership, Sheldon PD, Sheldon EMA, working together on calls. as a team is really important just to help improve patient outcome overall. The calls can be really stressful, so when we know we can work together as a team, that helps out and helps reduce stress, and it helps us do a better job with helping the patient.
Right. Any questions for either of these people?
Yeah, I do. First of all, thank you for another tremendous year. You guys do great work. What I'd like to, I'm just kind of getting into the numbers here, and I'm trying to figure out what we can learn from them. So when I just looked at total calls, your rate went up by 12% over last year, and over the last 10 years it went up 65%. And I know through census, our town only went up a few hundred people during that 10-year period, but we went up 65% on calls. Did we extend or expand our services during that time to where our utilization went up, or are we, or like last year, I mean, are we an aging demographic here in Sheldon or in the area that we're servicing? And what do you see for the future based upon that?
So we can't really pinpoint why our call volume keeps going up. And no one can pinpoint why everyone, someone calls 911 or the frequency of it. As you do know, the last couple of years we've also helped Sanborn out. We have the contract that we go, or contract, whatever you want to call it, where we go help them and they help pay for some of the services. That has increased our call volume slightly, but that's over the last couple of years. Like you just said, over the last 5 years it's gone up 65%. So yes, our aging population does play a factor in it, but I think also we can attest increase to the bypass and car accidents. I mean, there's a whole slew of factors that make that call volume go up. What we do foresee in the future, our volunteerism is dying down. We're going to have to start looking at more employees. I know you guys don't like to hear that. Sorry. But that's the big factor of it, and that's going to be the answer to it eventually, because eventually we aren't going to have the full staff and the great staff that we have right now to cover it. It's going to start dwindling when our younger generation isn't stepping up like I don't want to say I'm old, but our older generation when I was younger stepped up to start helping emergency services. So in the future we're going to have to look at more employees to help cover our calls and our community 911 needs. Did that answer all of your questions?
Well, not all of them, but
Which one
I didn't expect you to answer all of them. But so I guess when I asked the question about what do you see for the future, I fully understand and appreciate your comments on the staff and challenges. Mm-hmm. But what are we? I mean, how do we know, looking forward as far as resources beyond human resource, what we're going to need? Are we going to be in the 900s sometime soon for total calls? And what out of these numbers gives us any assurance that that's the case? Or if we go down 200, in a year, is there any way that we can use them to plan better for the future? Because I'm sure that along with personnel, you'll need additional equipment and all of that goes along with it. So.
Yep. We just recently increased our fleet. So if you look at 850 some calls, we're manning 3 ambulances and able to cover those calls. Plus during those calls, helping Sanborn or mutual aids for other towns. So the need for more ambulances would be a long ways out. I think we do well with our 3 and our equipment that we do have. We have good equipment. We keep up to date with that. So I don't foresee that need increasing over the next 5 years of another ambulance. I don't foresee it, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if these smaller towns are gonna be able to continue to hold their own and man their calls. You just don't know. In the world of EMS, yes, we're called, 911's called. It could be me that's calling 911, and I certainly want an ambulance to respond. Iowa doesn't say an ambulance has to respond, which is an awful thing to say, but in any town, an ambulance doesn't have to respond, and we might have to wait 25 minutes for an ambulance to come. That's a reality of EMS right now, and it's a very unfortunate reality, but the citizens of Sheldon and surrounding areas right now are very, very, in my opinion, lucky to have a great service that we provide for them.
Okay,
So.
thanks, appreciate it.
I have a quick question, if that's okay. Our county levels of funding, and I should have asked you this before, but how are we sitting with that? It's about the same. They've stepped up pretty well over
Yep.
the last few years. Can you update us on that real quick?
Yep, so our county helps fund the full-time staff that we currently have and our part-time staff. They give $55,000 right now this fiscal year, as well as $7,500 for equipment. Next year, the fiscal year might be changing. But right now, that's a huge play and them supporting our ambulance service, so yep.
Looking at going up a little bit next year?
No, actually, it's looking at going down.
How much?
Okay.
I'm going to switch my hat.
Okay.
So, yeah, on the county side, this next year, it looks like funding will be going down. So on the emergency management side, talking with the supervisors, earlier in January, I had a chance to go meet with them just to kind of see where the county was at budget-wise. I've heard lots of budget discussion all across the state. I know there's multiple counties where things are looking tighter, city discussions on budget stuff. I appreciate being able to be here for your guys' budget meetings because that was good insight for me too, just to hear kind of where the city of Sheldon is at. The last year, I had to reduce the amount of money that was going through joint disaster services by over $20,000. So SCAT's funding this year is actually $53,000 for EMS system development and then $5,500 towards the EMS equipment account. This next year, what I proposed was $51,000 and $5,500, and the total that's being allocated right now is $228,000. And what I asked the supervisors is am I going to be asked to lower that again? Because if I do, if that's the pattern, that I'm going to continue to be asked to lower what we're getting from county general, we're going to get to the point where we need to look at the EMS levy option, which we're already at that point, and there are counties around us that are looking at it. I did hear that Sioux County they're just having some initial discussion on it. With what's happening right now on the federal level, I will be interested to see what happens this year and if that will impact the state level. I know there's also been discussion on seeing if the Iowa code could be changed so cities could do a levy on their own and it wouldn't have to go through county supervisors. One thing I would recommend, if you do have some viewpoints that you would like to share on the levy, I would encourage you to speak with the local supervisor reps in this area to let them know what your viewpoints are. And that's good for them. I've shared my viewpoints. Honestly, I think it's going to be needed at some point in time, but I also see the struggles right now financially with people. Going to the food bank here in town, seeing hundreds of people showing up to that. The stuff we saw this last year on the disaster side, I know there's a lot of people struggling right now financially, and adding another tax on, but there is a cost to have readiness on the public safety side, and if we continue to lose volunteers and we need more paid personnel, where's that money going to come from? There's no guarantee that there's calls coming in all the time, so that you'd have to have some set revenue that is going to be coming in to help pay for those expenses to have people ready to take calls. So there's a lot of stuff that my mind's going around this all the time, to be honest with you. And I do look to see what other counties are doing. I've heard different feedback from Osceola County with them having their EMS levy approved and how they set that. Even with some of the counties that have the levies in place, there's still struggles that are happening. And that's been something that's brought up too. If we have another funding stream and we have money available, can we still find the people that want to be in these these roles. So there's a lot that needs to be talked about. You know, where will we be at in 10 years? I don't know. But yeah, I do think demographics, aging population is another factor for calls. And will we see a change in that over the next 10 years? Possibly. You know, but right now it's working. I do appreciate what the county's providing right now for assistance. I know there's counties that don't do that much. But yeah, no, it's something that we're thinking about. I'm doing a lot of research into it, and but yeah, if you want to talk more sometime with me, please let me know. I'm happy to talk on that. Any other questions? Greg, I was wondering, being on the EMA side, I have one more thing I wanted to share with you guys. I haven't had a chance. I was thinking about it actually during the budget meetings. I apologize I wasn't here earlier last fall. I wanted to give the city of Sheldon and all the staff here and you guys here a huge thank you for this past summer, for being willing to have the Disaster Recovery Center here in this building. There were a lot of things that I know. I was talking a lot with Sam, with Angie, with Todd. You guys were extremely awesome to work with this past year during that difficult time. There were a lot of people helping, and I wish I could give out plaques, but I don't. I don't have plaques or awards to give out. But what you guys did was really nice. I know that it was a lot. You had a lot of extra people coming into the building, a lot of people out in the parking lot. You know, people were using the basement. There was extra cleaning, extra costs to help out with that, and I greatly appreciate doing that. I think that did help out people having an opportunity to come here to meet with FEMA representatives in person. So thank you for being willing to do that. And I know there's a lot of people that were doing things behind the scenes to keep water going, to help people get water out of their basements as quickly as possible. So thank you, City of Sheldon and all the city staff and council for what you did. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry I can't do more, but what you guys did made an impact, so thank you.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, looking back at that last year, you know, thinking about big stories through the course of the year, but the response of the city and its citizens and all the people working together was really encouraging to see that happen and realize what a great community we actually live in here, the way that pulled together. So I do have a couple questions. Anybody else have questions? Who's the current medical director?
Dr. Winger, Dr. Amy Winger.
Okay. Just curious more than anything. And then I'm assuming the door is still open for ride-alongs?
Yep.
I would highly encourage that. I did it last year. I would like to do it again. I would like to.
I already did mine, thank you.
Did you really? Good for you.
Yeah, you actually, you did it at a whole different level.
That's not what we're talking about yet. I'll pass on that, thank you.
I don't know how much you remember doing it, but you can do it again.
So, but yeah, it was a treat to watch the team in action, and so.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to do a ride along, if you want to come down there sometime and meet with us, and we can go through the rigs, we can show you the training stuff, and kind of explain to you too what we're filling out after each call to complete the patient care report that's needed.
So we'll talk, because I would like to do it again.
Perfect. I did have a couple other things that he didn't go over. Surprising he didn't hit them. We did have a member that retired this year, January 2nd, 2025, Artist Bonestro, after 35 years. So I'd like to thank her for her years of service. She was a wonderful asset to our team. It's a hard loss for us to take. She took a lot of calls, and she had a lot of experience, knowledge. So that's a big hit for SCAT to take, but we really thank her for her many, many years of service. Another plug that he forgot, it's okay. He did mention that December was a busy month. We had 103 calls in December that SCAT covered. That's a huge thing for our volunteers and our full-time, part-time staff to cover. We had all 3 rigs rolling quite frequently throughout December. So I want to thank my team, our team, for all of the stuff that they do, the calls they cover. Like Jared said, some of the stuff we see is pretty hard to see, pretty hard to deal with, but we do a lot, and just wanted you guys to be aware. You know, 103 calls is huge for our volunteer team. So That's the only other thing I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, again, thank you, and to the whole team for the service you provide. We have a great team here. You do great work. We're proud of you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to other reports. Anything further from you, Sam?
I do not.
Todd, anything else from you?
Just two things. As I'm sure most of you are aware, there was a fire out at the tree dump here a week or so ago. Thank you to those that responded and helped us clean that mess up. Just a reminder to people, I'm not saying the tree dump was started on fire on purpose, but we do not burn the tree dump. We chip the tree dump. The chip is reused. It's actually burnt in ethanol plants. It's hauled out to South Dakota. So we're attempting to save and reuse a resource. So anything the public could do to help us and make sure that baby doesn't light up, it's much appreciated. If you think about what had to happen that day, I was actually out of town. I was in West Des Moines visiting one of my daughters. But Brad and the fire team spent several hours out there, along with some mutual aid from some other communities. We had to bring in excavators to dig through the pile and try to split up and save as much of it as we could, because if you just let that whole thing burn rampant, boy, you got a mess, because it's a big pile right now. It's scheduled to be ground here in the next few weeks, of course. Anyways, there's just a lot of effort and a lot of expense already that goes into maintaining that place. And then when it gets set on fire, or when it goes up in fire, whichever the case may be, there's a lot more time and effort that was needed. So I guess I'm maybe talking to you more than anybody, Justin, but if there's a way we could get the public to help us and realize that dead wood out there is a resource that gets reused, and burning it is not an effective way to do it. So the other thing I wanted to just remind you is last bid opening of our busy stretch here. We opened bids on the recoating and sandblasting of the west water tower next week, Thursday. So hopefully we got some more good numbers to share with you next month or later this. That's all.
Any questions for Todd?
I would just reiterate that I got another look and a new appreciation of how much water it takes to put out a fire. And because they were using the hydrants by my house for that deal, as well as the one south of me as well too. And what was it? There was 2 tankers running all the
So
time?
we had our tanker, we had Sanborn, and we had Ashton.
Yeah, it had 3 tankers.
Ashton actually brought 2.
Yeah.
So we had 4 tankers running, 100,000 gallons of water.
Yeah, and it was...
And that didn't even put it out.
And it was, but I mean, they were there at my hydrant. I mean, they just left and bam, they were back. That's how quick it went through.
Yep.
So, so it provides me a better appreciation of why our department maybe is asking for that second tanker, because between that instance and the one I had mentioned last council meeting on the fire over by Hall, and that was a rural fire too. There was tankers flying all over that day too, getting new water. So with the fire danger the way it is right now, we may be needing that tanker sooner than it gets here. So anyway, that's all.
Just a lot of stress on, take fire as a volunteer department. That's a lot of stress on them to spend that many hours on a Friday.
Yeah. 5.5 hours, and I think they had close to 20 people.
Yeah.
Just from Sheldon.
Yeah. I talked to the guys from Ashton to find out what was going on, because it was low. And, but yeah, there was 2 guys per truck, at the minimum. So, I did contact you by phone message today.
I got it. We're good.
Okay, good. That's all I have.
Anyone else? All right, Eric, anything from you today? Anything further?
No, it was Ryer's first day today, so it's been going well, and I'm glad we could add a team.
Good.
Do you want to mention our other, no? Okay.
So Eric, are you offering ride-alongs as well?
Sure.
Okay. Contact you then, or?
Yeah, go right now.
Just inquiring right now.
Hey, Tom, Take your hearing aids out if you ride with him, because that dog will bark the whole night.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I'll let you ride in that more comfortable car.
Put me in the back with the dog.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Angie, anything you have?
Just in light of all the conversations, I thank all the emergency services. You're very much appreciated, every single one of you.
All right, very good. Counsel to my left and to my right? And I have nothing, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Chantel Ostra, Aye. Eggers,
Aye.
Ken,
Aye.
Snyder,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.